Hey everyone! I need to talk to you about something really important that's happening right now in the markets. And honestly, it's got me a little concerned. Have you noticed what gold has been doing lately? Because let me tell you, this is not normal behavior. Gold is absolutely skyrocketing. And when I say skyrocketing, I mean it just hit a brand new all-time high of $2,730 per ounce. Now, here's the thing. Gold doesn't just randomly shoot up like this. Think of gold as having this incredible sixth sense, like it can smell trouble coming from miles away. And right now, it's picking up on something big. So, what's got gold so spooked? Well, there's been serious chatter about potential bank collapses on the horizon. I know, that sounds scary. And it should. We're talking about what economists call a black swan event, something rare but potentially devastating. Now, while some politicians are out there saying the economy is unbelievable, the regional banks are telling a very different story. And here's what's really interesting. Billionaires and ultra-wealthy investors are pouring money into gold like there's no tomorrow. Even Peter Schiff, who's been a huge gold advocate for years, is saying this situation is getting serious. And when someone who's already all in on gold is getting more concerned, that should grab your attention. Here's what's really wild. Gold has moved up 10% in just over a week. That's massive for gold, which usually moves much more slowly. We could see it hit $2,800 tonight if this trend continues. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's look at what's happening around the world.
In Vietnam, people are literally lining up in the streets to buy physical gold. Look at this footage. It's getting serious. Everyone's pushing each other, guys. This is crazy. Now, I don't know what they're saying since I don't speak the language, but it's pretty clear what this is all about. They want gold. I'm talking about pushing, shoving, desperate to get gold kind of scenes. And this is happening when gold is at its most expensive point ever. Now, you might be thinking, why would people buy gold when it's at an all-time high? Well, that's exactly the point. When people are willing to pay record prices for something, it usually means they're expecting something even bigger to happen. So, what does this all mean for you? Look, I've always said that gold, silver, and certain other assets can act as hedges during economic uncertainty. If you can't stop what's coming, sometimes the smartest move is to position yourself accordingly. This isn't about hoping for economic disaster. Nobody wants that. But it is about being prepared and understanding what the smart money is doing right now. The bottom line, we might be extremely close to a major market shift. Gold is telling us a story. And that story is that some very wealthy, very informed people are getting ready for something significant. But here's what's really important to understand. Physical gold is considered the best form because it's tangible. It's literally in your hands. If everything were to collapse, that becomes your currency. That's why you're seeing all these people lining up in Vietnam and other places around the world. Now, here's a crucial point most people miss. It's not everyday retail investors driving gold prices this high. The real players here are central banks, institutions with essentially unlimited money. And according to market analysts, this isn't happening by accident. Think about it. If this was just random market movement, gold would be moving sideways, staying relatively stable. But instead, we're seeing these massive upward moves. Why? Because insiders know something is coming, and they're positioning themselves ahead of time. Let me put this in perspective for you. Do you realize how much money it actually takes to move gold up this dramatically? We're talking about one of the most heavily traded assets in the world. Gold just hit a market cap of $18 trillion. That's absolutely massive. And here's another warning signal. The VIX, which measures stock market volatility, is also rising. When both gold and volatility spike together, that's usually telling us that smart money is preparing for turbulence. So what's triggering all this? Well, just look at what's happening in the banking sector. US bank stocks have been plunging as investors grow increasingly nervous about mounting risks. We're seeing major banks getting hit hard due to various exposures and economic pressures. This isn't happening in isolation, folks. When you see gold surging, volatility spiking, and bank stocks tumbling all at the same time, that's the market sending us a very clear message. The bottom line, whether this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy or not, the smart money is already moving. The question is, are you paying attention to what they're doing? Now, here's what really concerns me about the banking situation. We could be looking at potential bank runs, people rushing to withdraw their money before things get worse. And honestly, they probably should consider it. Here's what you need to know for your own protection. FDIC insurance covers up to $250,000 per account. If you have more than that in any single bank, you could be at risk if that institution fails. It's something to seriously think about. But how do we know a black swan event is actually brewing? Well, I told you about the VIX earlier, and here's the thing. We actually predicted this move months ago. Let me show you something fascinating on the VIX chart.
If you look at the 2-week time frame, there was a hidden bullish divergence pattern. The price made a higher low, but the RSI made a lower low. That's a classic signal that volatility was about to spike. And guess what? It's playing out exactly as predicted. This VIX surge probably isn't going to stop until whatever's coming actually happens. We're in the build-up phase right now. Now, here's where things get really interesting, and maybe a little controversial. There are theories floating around that we might be witnessing a planned transition in our entire financial system. Some analysts believe we're seeing the setup for something much bigger than just a market correction.
All right, this is breaking news. You heard it here first. It all has finally made sense to me. I can't believe I didn't think about this before, but the reason gold and silver prices are skyrocketing to new all-time highs is they're about to do what I predicted years ago. Watch the video on X. I told you that Trump was secretly replacing the U.S. Federal Reserve System, and they were going to reprice Fort Knox gold and silver reserves to buy all the existing liabilities.
The idea is this. What if gold prices are being driven to unprecedented heights, potentially even $10,000 plus per ounce, as part of a systematic shift away from our current monetary system?
Bitcoin, crypto, reset us into the stablecoin system, etc., move into tokenization, as BlackRock is now telling all of us. And so basically, if you didn't understand what I just said, what they're doing is intentionally pumping, Wall Street is, the central banks, gold and silver prices to new record highs. Gold just hit $30 trillion plus. That's massive. That doesn't happen by accident. And the reason they're doing that is they're going to need higher priced gold, higher priced silver to offset their strategic reserve purchases of the new currency and the new gold, Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies, as they send that to decatrillions itself.
Think about it. If you can move gold prices to astronomical levels and then transition that wealth into digital assets or a new financial framework, you've essentially reset the entire game.
So if you think about it just like mathematically or just, really common sense, they're going to pump one asset up to buy the other asset cheap, then reset the system and use the stable coins that they printed 300 trillion yesterday, not by accident. PayPal. The PayPal mafia does not print 300 trillion, double the economic GDP of the entire planet overnight on accident. I mean, Peter Thiel freaking founded PayPal. All these guys are PayPal. Elon Musk founded PayPal. That's not an accident.
This is where cryptocurrencies like XRP come into the picture. Some people believe that after precious metals reach these extreme valuations, there could be a coordinated move into specific digital assets that are designed to work with central bank digital currencies.
So they're running these tests, shock and awe, which is why they ran the liquidity event recently with Binance and all the exchanges, and we saw the huge drawdown in altcoins because they're lubricating the system. They're checking on stablecoins parity, stability, all those kinds of things, flushing out leverage longs, and then like I've predicted, watch the video on X. It is titled, I just posted it again, it already had like 1 million views months ago. I was in my green Lamborghini, titled, Breaking Trump has secretly replaced the U.S. Federal Reserve, Giant Shocks Ahead, where I explain That was the optics around Fort Knox. Remember how they said they were going to audit it? Yeah, they did. They just didn't tell us about it. Okay, so now they're repricing those reserves and they're going to use it to buy cheaper Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP. This is going to be the biggest economic financial event in world history, like what we saw with FTR with his executive action. I expect massive shocks. The financial markets to close, bank runs, the regional banks are going down. I don't know if you saw that today. JP Morgan Chase just incurred a 200 million roughly cockroach debt implosion on a faulty loan that they took with Tricolor. And that's just the beginning. Jamie Dimon's calling it cockroaches. This is the same guy that did business with Jeffrey Epstein, so he knows what's up. He's the same guy that got all the multi-trillion dollar bailouts from you U.S. taxpayers. So this is going down now, guys. Did you hear what I said? Rewatch this video. They're pumping gold. This is an institutional move, not retail.
Here's what's truly mind-blowing. If institutions have unlimited money printing capabilities, moving markets becomes much easier than most people realize. The same forces that can push gold up 10% in a week could theoretically push certain cryptocurrencies to levels that seem impossible today. So, what does this all mean for you? Whether you believe in these larger theories or not, the data is clear. Something significant is happening in the markets right now. Gold is at all-time highs, volatility is spiking, and banking stocks are under pressure. We might be witnessing the early stages of the biggest financial transition in our lifetimes.
Retail's not pumping gold plus 30 trillion. No, this is a short-term pump. Once they have that new capital that they've created by moving the water to the other side of the system, gold, silver, precious bullion, metals, etc., they're going to use that to reprice and reset us into the stablecoin networks and this new system, Bitcoin, crypto, Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP, that I predicted. That's what's really going on.
It's both nerve-wracking and exciting because we could be watching history unfold in real time. My advice, stay alert, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there. This situation is developing rapidly, and the next few months could be absolutely crucial. What do you think? Are we looking at a planned financial reset or just normal market cycles? Are you positioned for what might be coming? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis helpful, smash that subscribe button because we're going to be covering every development in this story. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.